In the heart of rural Oregon, where the lush green hills roll gently and the air hangs heavy with the scent of earth and livestock, there existed a small farm owned by a woman named Susan Monica. To the unsuspecting eye, it appeared to be just another modest homestead, complete with a weathered farmhouse and a sprawling pig pen. But beneath the veneer of pastoral tranquility lay a chilling secret, a dark legacy of violence, and a thirst for control that would forever haunt the community. Susan Monica was born Stephen Buchanan in 1948. Her early life was marked by turbulence and a search for identity that would take her far from her origins. After serving in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam War, she transitioned into life as a woman, adopting the name Susan and seeking solace in the rural landscape of Oregon. She dreamed of a quiet life, a place where she could cultivate her land and embrace her true self. But as the years passed, the shadows of her past began to catch up with her, and her dreams morphed into something darker. The farm, nestled away from the prying eyes of the world, became a refuge for Susan. Yet, the isolation bred a twisted sense of entitlement and control. As she struggled with her identity and the trauma of her past, resentment simmered beneath the surface. Susan's relationships with those around her were often fraught with tension. She became known for her volatile temper and erratic behavior, which alienated her from neighbors and friends alike. In the early 2000s, Susan found herself in dire financial straits. The farm struggled to stay afloat, and her loneliness deepened as the weight of her circumstances pressed down on her. It was during this vulnerable period that two men entered her life, Robert Haney and Stephen Delacino. Both men were drifters, seeking work and a place to stay, and Susan offered them jobs on her farm, hoping to find companionship in their presence. Initially, the arrangement seemed beneficial. The men helped with farm chores, and Susan enjoyed the company. However, as time went on, tension began to build. Susan's unpredictable temper, coupled with her growing frustration over her financial woes, created an atmosphere charged with hostility. It wasn't long before the situation escalated into violence. In 2012, the relationship between Susan and the two men soured. According to later reports, Robert Haney had become increasingly aware of Susan's unstable behavior, and he began to express his desire to leave the farm. Stephen Delacino, on the other hand, had become embroiled in a dispute with Susan over unpaid wages. As their discontent grew, Susan felt threatened by their intentions and the control she believed she was losing. The night of the first murder was filled with tension. The farmhouse was quiet, save for the occasional rustle of animals in the barn.